right, thank you for joining us here for a special additional hour on 24 Plus. Good morning. It's Friday. I'm Kevin McNamara. We're joined by meteorologist Daniel McDonald. We've got a quick flash of that the outside camera there. It's starting to be a warm morning already here, huh?
Yes, it looks like we are on our way to another warm day, but this will probably be the last time we see temperatures in this sort of record high territory for at least another week or so, because we are going to see some changes occur over the weekend. But first, we'll detail the current conditions. 69 degrees right now in Memphis, already at 70 in Forest City, Dyersburg, and in Bolivar. Another warm day on the table, about the same pace now as we were at yesterday at this time, as temperatures this morning were about 5 to even 10 degrees cooler than yesterday waking up. But now we're pretty much right back where we were at this time, even a little bit warmer in some spots, including Bolivar and Dyersburg, which are at 70 right now. We're going to see a lot more sunshine today, less cloud cover, which translates to lower rain chances. And I think that means around the 80s here for the region. 82 in Memphis, I do think, is going to be what we will reach. And that should be a new record here for the area. But as we are heading towards later on into the weekend, Saturday is going to bring with it a big change in the form of storms. All of this warmth that we have seen over the last several days will contribute to energy being used here by an advancing line of storms that could be containing some strong, maybe even a few severe storms, with the main impacts going to be strong winds, heavy rainfall, and a lot of adjustments that are going to be needed to be made to any outdoor plans on Saturday. The rest of the weekend, I think, looking nice for Sunday, but a lot to discuss and prepare for Saturday before we do see a bit of a pattern change heading into next weekend. Those details coming up later on in the show.
All right, let's get another check of your traffic here this morning at 9:06. Now, the good news is, as we do this additional hour, most of the morning commutes kind of cleared up. A lot of folks hard at work now, busy city we've got here. Just still have that same accident right there that we were tracking earlier this morning. That is down in the Temple Israel area. That is on Hernando and East Person. That's been there for quite some time. Have to imagine they're getting close to clearing that up. But elsewhere around the region, things are looking pretty good right now. Plenty of green. Overall, it's been a solid and safe morning of the kind that you love to see here as we get this Friday going. Happy weekend, everybody. We made it all the way to the end. Let's hope those safe drivers continue. But if anything changes, we'll let you know. A Memphis police officer is recovering after he was dragged by a car during a traffic stop. And that suspect has now been charged. This happened Thursday night just after 8 o'clock near the intersection of Getwell and Park, right near the University of Memphis. MPD said at some point during this traffic stop, the driver just took off, dragging the officer with his car. That suspect has been identified as Marcus Ross, and he now faces multiple charges, including assault of a law enforcement officer. The cop was taken to St. Francis Hospital and fortunately is now recovering. Meanwhile, the manhunt continues for the man accused of shooting Officer Oscar Torres Molina during a traffic stop. Investigators still looking for 40-year-old Donnell Maxwell. He's been on the run for more than a week now. Take a look at your screen. This is a new photo released by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation of Maxwell. He is considered armed and dangerous, so if you see him, do not approach. There's a over $32,000 reward for info leading to his arrest. If you know where he might be, again, do not approach. Instead, call 1-800-TBI-FINDS. And the legal fight over who has the power to deploy the National Guard in Memphis now in the hands of a panel of judges. Yesterday, attorneys for Mayor Lee Harris and Governor Bill Lee each faced questions from judges during oral arguments over the governor's call to send in National Guard members into the city. ABC24's Desmond Nugent explains what you need to know about the hearing.
The argument centered around a key question: did Governor Bill Lee have the authority to send the national troops into Memphis and keep them here without a formal executive order or declare emergency? State attorneys say the governor acted within his powers to address a public safety crisis, but attorneys for Shelby County Mayor Lee Harris say the deployment pushes the limits of what the Tennessee Constitution allows.
The legal battle stems from September 2025, when Governor Bill Lee deployed the National Guard to Memphis as part of the Memphis Safe Task Force, a response to violent crime in the city. Attorneys for the state argue Memphis was regarded at the time as the most violent city in America. They also argue the lawsuit filed by Mayor Lee Harris doesn't clear a key legal hurdle, showing a specific injury to his office.
They essentially argue that any time that the executive acts outside of his constitutional or statutory bounds, that they have suffered an injury and that they can bring suit. No case law supports that proposition, and the implications of that are staggering.
Rice says if that argument were accepted, any lawmaker could potentially sue the executive branch over policy disagreements. Attorneys for Mayor Lee Harris say the case is about limits on executive power. They argue the Tennessee Constitution does not give the governor unlimited authority to deploy the National Guard, especially without a written order declaring an emergency.
The governor hasn't even put his name to a piece of paper and issued a finding that there is a grave emergency in Memphis. There was a press release, and then troops showed up.
Salzman also told the court the Constitution limits when militia can be deployed, warning that expanding the definition of an emergency could open the door to an indefinite military presence. Judges pressed both sides during the hearing, asking whether Memphis actually suffered a legal injury and whether crime alone constitutes a grave emergency.
Every city across the state of Tennessee, there continuing crime issues. Does there have to be an end for something to be an emergency?
The panel also questioned how far the mayor's legal argument could go, asking whether it could restrict the National Guard from responding to other emergencies like floods or disaster relief.
We can't call out the National Guard to help with COVID or with floods, or to recently the National Guard rescued a hiker in the Great Smoky Mountains. All that's illegal.
The judges did not issue a decision from the bench. Whatever the outcome, the ruling could set a precedent for how and when governors in Tennessee can deploy the National Guard and whether local leaders have the power to challenge the decisions in court. In the studio, I'm Desmond Nugent.
Residents in Byhalia, meanwhile, raising concerns after testing found a chemical contaminating some of the private drinking wells. Federal and state officials say they're working to protect families while they search for the source. Our Ezekiel Telemaco spoke with residents and local leaders about what it means for the community.
It's really upsetting that I possibly put my family in danger over this.
Jason is one of several residents in Byhalia impacted by trichloroethylene, also known as TCE, a chemical that has been found in some private drinking water wells in the area. The Environmental Protection Agency says that 20 wells were tested and 12 were found above the federal drinking water standard of 5 parts per billion. Jason says his water tested well below that limit, but he worries those levels could rise.
My well did come up with 2.5 parts per billion. The acceptable range is 5 parts per billion. The ranges in the homes that have gotten filtration systems provided by the EPA, their levels are going up. So, it's kind of safe to say mine is going to do the same.
Health officials say that exposure to TCE can cause headaches, dizziness, and confusion, and long-term exposure has been linked to kidney damage and certain cancers. The EPA says that it's offering bottled water and home filtration systems to residents whose wells test above the federal safety limit. Officials say that residents who decline filtration systems will only receive bottled water for up to 30 days. For Jason, a father of 6, he says the situation feels like a betrayal.
It's rather disturbing the way this whole situation was handled. It's really upsetting that I, possibly put my family in danger over this. I wish it would have been brought to my attention when it was first known, so I could protect my family if it was a problem.
Byhalia Mayor Donald Hollingsworth says that the situation is serious for the community.
This is an emergency because you think about it, a 3-year-old goes outside and wants to take a drink of water and he grabs that water hose and drinks it. He's got it. And even taking a shower, you're taking a chance. And now they're having to have bottled water to brush your teeth.
The mayor says that a permanent solution could take years and millions of dollars.
If you started today, if you had the $2 million or $1.8 million, it would take 2 years to draw the plans, get the permits, and get it installed.
Federal and state officials say they'll continue testing more wells in the area as they work to determine the source and extent of the contamination. All new this morning, Memphis City leaders held an informational meeting on the Jackson Pit landfill maintenance project. That was at East Haven Church of Christ on Chulahoma Road. Attendees got to hear updates about the project. I'd hope so. That includes things like how long it's going to take, along with the construction activity and traffic expected in the area. All right, happening today, MSCS, along with city and county officials, will be announcing plans to strengthen accountability for the school district. We are, about 45 minutes away from a press conference here set for 10, which you can watch live right here. You don't have to do anything. We will bring it to you live as it happens. It comes as we continue to watch for a potential state takeover of the school district. This proposed bill would create an oversight board made up of residents appointed by the governor, House, and Senate Speaker. The board would have authority over the budget, contacts, and facilities. However, school board members would not lose their positions. Again, they're going to be telling you all about this proposal coming up at 10, and you can watch it right here. We'll have a reporter there as well. We'll be right back after this. New security upgrades are now in place at the Shelby County Election Commission. After nearly a year of renovations, the Operations Center in Memphis is reopening with major improvements designed to protect ballots and increase transparency in the election process. Before she was headed to breaking news of that cop getting dragged by a car, our Lauren Turman got a look inside the newly upgraded facility.
From storing ballots to counting votes, a lot happens behind the scenes before election results are final. And now Shelby County election leaders are giving the public a look at millions of dollars worth of upgrades designed to keep safety and security at the forefront.
About 4 years ago, we had a security audit of the building, and they identified several things that we really should address. And then when we made the move to paper ballots, we really needed some secure place to store them.
Behind the scenes of every ballot cast in Shelby County is a building designed to help keep elections secure and the people working hard to make it happen. The Shelby County Election Commission Operations Center is opening its doors to show the public what's changed. Administrator of Elections Linda Phillips says the center on Nixon Drive now has a new fence, improved security cameras, and even bulletproof glass and walls.
One of the things we wanted to do was be very transparent. So if you look at our rooms where we're tabulating ballots, they have windows on both sides so you can see it. And if you look
further inside, the upgrades continue with reinforced doors, stricter access points to highly secure employee areas, and building improvements like a new roof and facilities.
Only a very limited number of people have access to this room and the one next to it. This is where absentee ballots are handled, and as part of our protocol, this room can only be opened when there's both a Democrat and a Republican present.
The nearly $6 million investment was years in the making, Phillips adds, and for some Memphis voters, those protections help reinforce the importance of casting a ballot.
Yes, I do still plan on voting. I still come up on my knowledge because everyone has an opinion, and we should all value the individual opinions that we all have.
While others are still on the fence.
It depends on who you vote for or what that person is doing for the community. I don't do too much voting, but I feel that people should vote, though, if they want to change.
And come Election Day, Phillips says the upgrades are part of an ongoing effort to keep the process secure.
So we have a very good base to draw from, and then we are very, very careful with ballots and votes. Our policies are bipartisan control of everything.
And with the May primary quickly approaching, Phillips hopes strengthening security will also help voters feel more confident that their ballots are handled safely. In the studio, I'm Lauren Turman.
As that May primary approaches, we want to remind you of some important dates. You can request an absentee ballot now through April 25th. If you are registered to vote, or if you're not, you can want to cast a ballot, you'll need to do so by April 6th. That's the deadline to register. Early voting runs through April 15th to the 30th, and then the final day to vote is, of course, Election Day, which is May 5th. ABC24 and 24 Plus is your home for all things election related. Right here, our team sat down with candidates running for Shelby County Mayor, as well as some other key county races and, overall races as well. You can watch those full interviews anytime here on the 24 Plus app. Not to worry. That's not all you can see on the 24 Plus app either. All right, thought we were getting a weather animation. Typically we do.
See us.
Right. That was, I was leading into hyping up our great weather team, which includes meteorologist Daniel McDonald.
Why, thank you. We do have a very interesting forecast, though, in the days ahead that we will want to make sure we have multiple ways of sort of keeping tabs on here. It's 69 degrees right now in Memphis. We're going to be leading into another warm day, likely going to be the warmest day here for pretty much the entire area since we did start seeing temperatures enter this very well above average range over this past weekend. 82 degrees right now is on the table for Memphis, which, if that verifies, would be a new record daily high for this state on March the 6th. We are in the 70s already in several spots, 72 right now in Clarksdale, and we are going to, I think, reach at least 80 degrees pretty much everywhere in the region. We can see why that is as we take a regional look here at temperatures across the area. We have the warmth now extending well into other parts north of our region. Yeah, the last couple of days we had seen sort of the Mid-South be kind of the northern boundary of where these warm temperatures were lying, but now we have the 60s and 70s as far north as Illinois, Kansas, Missouri, so definitely a lot more warmth spreading, intensifying, and more sunshine in the forecast today should end up leading us here into the lower 80s for those highs. Before tonight, we are going to stay warm once again in the 60s with possibly a few sprinkles of rain along the way. Again, record territory is what we are expecting today. 81 was set in 2022. Record lows of 15 set also not too long ago, 2015, but we are a far cry away from that, with the temperatures this morning coming in at about 63 degrees, about 20 degrees above average for both the high and lows is what we expect today. Clouds and radar again showing us reason to believe we will have more sunshine. Of course, some early morning low-hanging clouds are going to move through, but by later this afternoon, comparatively speaking to the last couple of days, we'll have more sunshine, partly cloudy to mostly sunny in a few spots as the winds continue. Rain is really not a threat. We do see a little bit of some shower activity that has since sort of faded off on parts of the plains. We are going to see, however, that rain really impact us for tomorrow. So much so that we have the first legitimate real severe weather threat across our area since the fall season, as we do have a 2 out of 5 slight risk here in yellow for all of our areas south and west of Holly Springs, south of the Memphis metro, and a 1 out of 5 marginal risk for the rest of the area, including counties that extend well beyond our region. So this is something we'll want to pay attention to here. Some of these storms could be on the stronger side, and it looks like the timing is not going to be very favorable for outdoor weekend plans. We're going to have this start to move into our area not too long after daybreak tomorrow morning, and by around 9 to 10 a.m. is when the Memphis metro can expect the first round of storms to move on through. Continuing throughout the late morning and early afternoon, we will see a very long line extending here through parts of Kentucky, Tennessee, and then down and even into parts of central southern Arkansas and Mississippi. So again, not very likely that any area is going to miss out on this rain. We're all going to see some rain. We're all probably going to see thunderstorms in some capacity. Some of those could be on the stronger side. When we have a line of storms like these, we look for straight line winds, gusts of around 50, 60 miles per hour to be the main threat with those. And with just how large and the time frame we're seeing here going into the early and mid to late afternoon hours, rainfall, and heavy rain and some isolated flooding is going to be a concern as well. We should be drier here not too long after sunset, or at the very least just seeing some very light rain and maybe some mist following its departure. But as we head towards overnight, we will watch for maybe just a few recurring showers here before Sunday is looking to be dry. But the main threats here, again, are going to be the winds and the heavy rain from this system. Large hail, pretty low chance, not out of the question, and tornadoes, also, not totally out of the question, but probably, or definitely, I would say, the least likely threat we would see from a system like this. Again, when we have a line of storms sort of forming in this way, tornado development is not very likely. But again, the winds and the heavy rain is what we will want to focus on. Rainfall totals could be in excess of an inch in some spots as well. And we'll want to make sure we secure loose objects outdoors. Make sure those plans are indoors. Partly cloudy for today, 82 as we set records, 64 for tonight, and then we will see the storms move in here on Saturday. It looks like we are going to have a pretty wide window here from the mid-morning hours to the late afternoon. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive updates and information for the latest on this event, as we will be in that weather impact alert through the evening hours. We are going to see Sunday a little cooler and nicer, 68 degrees, still above average. And we'll warm up further heading into next week with, as you can see, more chances of rain, possibly more chances of thunderstorms as well. As we get further into the month of March and towards the official start of spring, we'll be watching for warmer temperatures and the ensuing storms that form alongside them.
All right, let's get another check of your traffic here at 9:27. Things are pretty clear right now. Just an accident in Orange Mound there right on Goodlet and Chuck. That is right near 78. Goodlet and Chuck in Orange Mound. So nothing significant here impacting your highways, although it looks like there's some delays coming on 78 there. Don't know if those are connected. But there are mostly clear roads right now. You can see I-40, 240, 385, all good to go right now as we get closer into, closer to noon here. Most folks kind of done with their commute. But you can never be too safe, can never be too careful. Again, just one accident in Orange Mound. Everywhere else, you're clear. If that changes, we'll keep you updated. Anyway, right now, over 100 IKEA Memphis employees will be out of a job soon. According to the Tennessee Department of Labor, layoffs are expected to start around May 9th, with 114 workers set to lose their jobs by the end of August. The store will close on May 3rd to customers. IKEA has announced that customers can still shop online, and there are delivery and FedEx pickup options in Cordova. The company says they'll try to move some employees to other spots and offer severance to those who can't transfer. We'll be right back with more after this. This weekend, the Banana Ball Championship League is making a stop in the Bluff City. First, there will be a meet and greet at Academy Sports on New Byhalia Road in Collierville. The fun starts at 6:30, and then on Saturday and Sunday, the Party Animals will be facing off against the Indianapolis Clowns at AutoZone Park. Tickets are based on a lottery. And also on Saturday, you can catch a Grizz game right here in Memphis. The team will be playing at FedEx Forum. We are about to show you that footage. There we go. Right here against the Los Angeles Clippers. Grizzly star point guard John Morant won't be playing, though, still dealing with that elbow injury. Staff says he'll be reevaluated in 2 weeks. Tip-off is at 7 o'clock. All right, Elvis fans, get your jumpsuits and blue suede shoes ready because the Ultimate Elvis Tribute Artist Weekend is back at Graceland. Fans will enjoy concerts, photo ops, and conversations with top tribute artists. Everything kicks off today at 9 and will last through the weekend. We'll be right back. All right, joined once again by meteorologist Daniel McDonald. There he is with another check of your forecast. Sounds like it's going to be a real hot day today. In fact, it's getting hot already.
Yes, hot is the right word to use because temperatures this afternoon may very well be in record territory or possibly even setting new records. 69 currently in Memphis with many spots now into the 70s. Forest City, Tunica, Clarksdale, as well as Dyersburg, all within that range. And it does look like we are going to warm up further than yesterday. I would say the lower 80s very likely all across the region. 82 in Memphis is our forecast right now, which if that verifies would be a new daily record high here for March the 6th. Temperatures now pretty much in line with where they were yesterday. That's despite a little bit of a cooler start here, about 5 degrees cooler in Memphis waking up this morning. So the fact that we are now in line with yesterday's temperatures at this time indicates we are seeing a quicker rate of warming, more sunshine, at least compared to the last several days. We'll have some passing clouds, partly cloudy to some areas seeing mostly sunny conditions, but chances of rain going to be staying low over the course of this evening. Maybe a few sprinkles could be possible, but I think the main story is going to be the warmth here as we do manage to reach around 82 in Memphis here, lower 80s elsewhere, and getting close to sort of matching those records if we do end up falling short. 81 again is the previous record, but things are going to change here by tomorrow. All of this warmth has been producing a lot of energy that is about to get used up here by a line of thunderstorms that will move through our region tomorrow morning and afternoon. Weather impact alert has been put in place as a result for concerns of strong winds and heavy rainfall. More details to follow in the full forecast.
All right, let's check on your traffic again. It's 9:37 and it still looks exactly the same as we left it a couple of minutes ago. Just that one accident there in Orange Mound, just east of 78, not causing any major delays on your highways. Does look like 78 itself has got some slight congestion there. Don't know if that's connected to the accident, but obviously that's a concern. Now, we are past really your typical morning commute times, so you shouldn't see too much slowdowns or stoppages across the region unless something really unfortunate happens here. But if it does, we will let you know. But for now, wherever you're coming or going, you shouldn't be particularly impacted. New this morning, drug charges against the mayor of Galway have been dropped. A Tipton County judge dismissed the case against Mayor Jamie Mayo this week, citing lack of evidence. Mayo was originally arrested in November, charged with possession of a Schedule II narcotic. He later filed a federal lawsuit against Tipton County, claiming deputies violated his rights during that traffic stop arrest. He was taken into custody this year after failing a drug test. Meanwhile, a Memphis police officer is recovering after they were dragged by a car during a traffic stop, with that suspect now charged. This happened Thursday night, just after 8 o'clock last night, near the intersection of Getwell Road and Park Avenue, right by the University of Memphis. MPD says at some point during the traffic stop, the driver then took off, dragging the officer with his car. The suspect has now been identified as Marcus Ross, and he faces several charges, including assault of a law enforcement officer. That cop was taken to St. Francis Hospital and fortunately is now recovering. Elsewhere, the manhunt continues for the man accused of shooting and injuring MPD officer Oscar Torres Molina. MPD says Danelle Maxwell shot Officer Torres Molina during a traffic stop at Aloha Avenue and South Perkins last Thursday night. We've got a new photo that you're seeing now on your screen. The TBI released a new photo of him. That is Danelle Maxwell, considered armed and dangerous, and there's a $32,000 reward for any info leading to his arrest. If you know where he might be, call 1-800-TBI-FIND. We'll be right back after this. All right, thanks for sticking with us here on 24 Plus. I'm joined once again by meteorologist Daniel McDonald with another check of your forecast on what's shaping up to be a pretty warm, not quite spring day. It's still winter, right? Isn't it?
It is technically still winter, yes. The meteorological start of spring begins at the beginning of the month. We sort of use that term because that is when we do start to see these spring patterns emerge. But spring season, March 20th, that typical spring equinox definition is now exactly 2 weeks away. But these are temperatures that really we don't even experience for most of the springtime. This is maybe the very end of spring, early summer kind of temperatures to have at this time of the day. We are looking right now at the 70s in some spots, 72 in Dyersburg, Clarksdale, and Tunica, the warmest, just a little short of that in Memphis. Another warm start here. We're not really surprised by that at this point after so many warm days since the start of this week, so many warm mornings, I should clarify. But as we take a wider look here at the rest of surrounding areas and states, we can see now how far to the north those temperatures do extend. We are into the 60s as far north as parts of central Kansas, Illinois, Missouri. The last several mornings, we have sort of been on the northern edge of where this warmth has extended to, but now it is very warm in many other spots. And over the course of today, I think we will end up seeing the lower 80s in the region. Memphis, 82, which, if that verifies, we're going to have a new daily high record for March the 6th. More sunshine, at least comparatively to what we've seen so far this week. Partly cloudy, maybe mostly sunny in a couple of spots, but I don't think we'll see any rain chances until perhaps maybe just a few sprinkles and stray showers as we head towards later on tonight. But it's going to be tomorrow that we really pay attention to the rain chances, because they are not only going to bring with them the threat of some stronger storms, but it will be changing this pattern here of near or record highs that have been a part of our forecast now for a while. We're going to be watching for storms to move from out west into our region tomorrow. Of course, today, still looking dry, more sunshine, but all of this warmth and energy that we've been building up the last couple of days will provide the Mid-South with its greatest threat of strong to severe storms in several months. We have a 2 out of 5 slight risk issued for areas south of Memphis, southwest of Holly Springs, in Mississippi, and in Arkansas. A 1 out of 5 marginal risk for the rest of the area. That also extends well beyond the confines of our region. So we are very likely going to see thunderstorm activity everywhere in the region. We are going to see that move through, I think, our westernmost counties beginning around sunrise, probably approaching the Memphis metro around 9 to 10 a.m. As that continues to move on through, it won't be moving particularly fast, so heavy rainfall is going to be a big threat here, along with straight line winds as these storms do form in a line as they continue to move on through the area. That will make that those two threats be our top concern. Large hail, tornadoes, very, very unlikely. Can't totally rule them out, but we are definitely going to focus here on the winds and rain threat a bit more, especially as we head towards later on in the afternoon and evening. Some backbuilding of some showers and maybe a couple of weaker thunderstorms possible. I think the strongest storms will be around the early afternoon, though, for most of the region. And then heading into later overnight, we should be slowly drying out here for a calm end to the weekend on a Sunday. But because of this being our first sort of severe weather threat, or well-defined severe weather threat for a couple of months, we do want to really emphasize the precautions that are needed to be taken here with, again, the wind gusts, heavy rain being those main concerns. Rainfall totals right now probably going to exceed an inch in most spots over the course of this event, maybe up to 2 inches in a few areas. So especially low-lying areas or spots that are prone to flooding will definitely want to take precaution if you do reside or visit those areas. So we want to make sure we secure loose objects to protect against or limit damage from those strong winds. Make sure our plans are indoors. We're really not going to have many sort of dry slots here in between this rainfall over the course of Saturday. It'll be a progression here from lighter to eventually heavier rain, and then heavier to lighter rain as it exits, but I really don't think it's going to end up being something that becomes on and off here, as we do have a pretty wide time frame for this event. 82 though for today. Partly cloudy, maybe mostly sunny in a couple of areas. Southerly winds continue then into tonight, keeping us warm and cloudy. A few showers, but the thunderstorms likely will not arrive here until daybreak tomorrow. and then into the afternoon and at least evening hours around sunset is when we can expect this to last before we do see calmer and cooler conditions for the rest of the weekend. 68 degrees being the high on Sunday. But as we head towards next week, it looks like we will see a bit of a return of this pattern of temperatures warming up and rain chances going up alongside them. More thunderstorms possible. Right now, not looking like we'll see any sort of inclement or severe weather alongside these. But this time of the year, as we head further and further into March and towards the official start of the spring season, it's always something to watch, and we'll keep you updated here on ABC24.
Alrighty, let's get another check of your traffic here at 9:48. Things look exactly as it did when we last left you here. Just that one accident there in Orange Mound, not disrupting too many of your highways. Looks like we do have a traffic control alert popping up there right near Bartlett. We can get possibly get a look into what that is. But as you can see right now, for the most part, things are clear. Obviously, most folks are at work or at school now, pretty much all of them. So your roads shouldn't be too congested, but always there's going to be cars out there, and you got to stay safe, stay alert when you're driving, because one false move can create a hazardous situation. If anything does pop off, we will keep you posted here throughout the rest of the morning. Happening today, MSCS leaders. Well, you can see half of me there. MSCS leaders will detail plans to hold the district more accountable for students. This comes as state lawmakers are currently discussing, the possible state takeover of Memphis-Shelby County Schools. It's a story we've been following since the bill was introduced. Our Shakina Davis gives us a look back at when this bill was first discussed last year and how lawmakers reacted.
Majority, everybody declare pass without objection. The most serious table.
We have failed our kids. State government, the Tennessee General Assembly, have failed Memphis kids.
The Tennessee legislature has officially approved the bill affecting Memphis-Shelby County Schools, with both the House and Senate voting in favor. During the Senate debate, Senator Brent Taylor emphasized this is not a takeover, but an intervention for the district. Taylor argued that problems in the school system have persisted for decades and require immediate action.
17% of the students in the Shelby County system are not proficient in math. 23% are not proficient in reading.
Representative Mark White's version of the bill, an oversight board of 9 members would be appointed by the governor and speakers of the House and Senate.
Year after year after year, we don't improve in our outcomes. And so we just run out of time.
Opposers of the bill says the school board is not to blame, but the blame is on the state. I spoke with Senator Antonio Parkinson, who is strongly against the bill.
One of the arguments was that they want to reduce the bureaucracy in Memphis and Shelby County schools. And I actually agree with that. But they added 9 more people that will increase the bureaucracy in Memphis and Shelby County schools.
Taylor says despite spending $1.8 billion, it's been decades of underperformance of MSCS students. His version would give local officials the power to replace board members.
We need to make some interventions that will try to get the elected school board to make better decisions for the 110,000 students that are in the Shelby County school system.
Parkinson believes this decision is bad policy.
It's about privatizing Memphis and Shelby County schools, simply. That's it, the bottom line.
Tennessee Governor Bill Lee, however, says he supports the takeover. Back when the bill was first introduced, he voiced his support, saying it's the right thing to do for the children in Memphis.
The status quo has not worked, and something needs to happen for these children. And I care deeply about the future of Memphis and Shelby County and the next generation of Memphians. It needs to move in the right direction.
The governor added he's glad people are coming up with solutions to fix the problem. Our own Desmond Nugent got the chance to speak to newly appointed MSCS Superintendent Dr. Roderick Richmond to hear his thoughts about the takeover as the bill moves forward.
State Representative Mark White tells me lawmakers are still pushing for legislation that would create a state-appointed board of managers to oversee the Memphis-Shelby County Schools, a bill that he says could move into final action sometime within the next month. While the Memphis-Shelby County School Board celebrates a leadership decision, voting to remove the interim title and make Dr. Roger Richmond superintendent permanent, a larger question still hangs over the district. Could the state step in? Last month, before being named permanently to the role, Richmond told ABC24 he does not support state intervention.
I would never be in favor of state takeover. And what I would say is partnership over punishment. Our board made a decision that was within their rights. When I look at what we've been asked to do, we haven't avoided any of the challenges that we've been asked to address.
State Representative Mark White, a Republican from East Memphis, says lawmakers are moving forward, but he pushes back on the word takeover. White calls it a local intervention that will place a board of managers over the district while still allowing the elected school board to remain in place.
And it's sitting there in the message calendar in the Senate. And so whenever we're ready to bring that off the message calendar and then combine the two bills for passage, we can do that. And we hope to do that within the next 4+ weeks.
White says similar versions of the bill advanced last session, and lawmakers are now working with the Tennessee Attorney General's office to strengthen the language and avoid potential legal challenges.
We're not going to interfere with the locally elected school board. They will still have their function, but the board of managers would have authority over them to implement changes that bureaucracy will not let you.
Back in Memphis, some residents support Richmond's appointment, saying the district needs stability. Others worry the superintendent's office has become a revolving door, noting this is the third leader in 5 years.
I'm a byproduct of the Willie Harrington times when superintendents, he was all about the education. He was a true educator. He was about the education of children. When you tell me that a kid can't complete the 8th grade, doesn't complete the 9th grade, they drop out, there's a problem. It's a major problem here in Shelby County.
All right, happening now. Activists, along with some Memphis and county leaders, holding a presser to discuss the possible state takeover of MSCS schools. We've got a line. Would create an oversight board allowing further control over MSCS budgets, facilities, and contracts. Let's take you now live to that, which is set to begin in just a few minutes.
All right, good morning, everyone. I am Jermaine Johnson, Head of Communications for Memphis-Shelby County Schools. All of our invitees were not able to make it today, so if you're a little further back, you can come on up to the reserve seats. It's not a problem. You can discard the name on there and you can come on up and get a closer seat. We are ready to get started, just waiting on our AV person to get here. Also, media, just another reminder, any dignitaries that want to do one-on-ones, we will make them available after the program, but we're gonna give y'all a little time to get your microphones back and set up for your interviews, okay? All right. At this time, I am pleased to introduce our school board chairwoman, Natalie McKinney.
Good morning, everyone. And first and foremost, I want to say thank you to everybody who is in this room today. Thank you for coming out for the call. I want to say thank you for the unwavering support that all of you have had over the many, many years for our youth here in Memphis and Shelby County. So before we begin, I would like to invite not only those who are speaking, who are scheduled to speak, but I'd like to invite our entire community that's here to stand behind us. Come on up. So once again, thank you for being here as we take an important step forward for Memphis-Shelby County Schools. I want to begin by recognizing my fellow board members who are here. Please raise your hands, they're here. Board Member Love, Board Member Sable-Ote, Board Member Williams, Board Member Murphy, and I think Vice Chair Coleman is here. There we are. I want to also recognize Mayor Lee Harris, Mr. Brian Harris, who is the Special Assistant to the Mayor and Director of Youth Services, who is here today on behalf of Mayor Young. I also want to recognize Chair Jana Swearingen Washington, Commissioner Lowry, Commissioners, I think we have some more commissioners in the room. Caswell, Commissioner Whaley. That's Councilman, I'm getting Councilman J.B. Smiley. Am I missing anybody? Okay, and we have our state congressman.
No, not state.
I mean, federal, I'm sorry, federal.
The other guys.
Federal, yes, federal, our federal Congressman Steve Cohen.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. And do I have some more?
NAACP president and
All right, we have Willie Simon here from the Shelby County Democratic Party. We have Liz Marable from UEA. We have Charlotte Field. Where are we? NAACP. We have two community representatives here. We have Memphis for All, Tequila Rucker. We have Rachel Spriggs from the Equity Alliance. We have Ladia Yates. We have, we got a lot of people. So I just wanted you all to recognize that we put out the call and here they are. This is the community. So thank you very much. We appreciate your partnership in supporting the students and the families of Memphis-Shelby County Schools. I also want to thank the community partners, and particularly the teachers unions and the stakeholders who are here today on behalf of our students. Your presence is appreciated and sends a strong, strong message. It shows what happens when community comes together for its youth. Today we are introducing our local accountability and transformation plan. We will also bring forward a resolution sponsored by Board Member Sable-Ote to adopt this plan as our district's roadmap for accountability and improvement. Simply put, this plan offers a local solution for strengthening our schools while keeping leadership and decision-making here in Memphis and Shelby County. Our board believes in real improvement in public education comes from local accountability, strong leadership, and strong community partnerships. Over the past year, we have taken clear steps in that direction. We started out a year ago. I just want you to know the journey that we've taken. A year ago in January, we sat with a state representative. and started fleshing out the bones of this plan. We then, in March, took that and incorporated into our governance, accountability, and transparency resolution that was sponsored by board members Otey and board member Porter. From there, we've been doing the work. We've been working with the TSBA to strengthen our governance practices, and we've been working with the Council of Great City Schools. Strong systems start with strong governance, and we take that responsibility very, very seriously. Second, we took an important step to bring stability to district leadership. While serving as interim superintendent, the board asked Dr. Richmond to set a clear direction for the district, and he has done just that. Today, the district has an academic plan with clear goals for student learning, a facility strategy to guide long-term planning, strong internal controls for more stable operations, and the administration has also created a district scorecard so the board and the public can track progress. Given his demonstrated ability to steady the district and move the work forward, the board appointed him as permanent superintendent of the Memphis-Shelby County Schools. That decision was based on the progress we are already, I said already, seeing. Our district has faced real challenges, but over the past year, we have begun to see stability, accountability, and forward movement under local leadership. And that progress belongs to this community. Progress seen we are now in our 4th year where we have seen substantial growth, resulting in earning a overall comprehensive composite TVOS score that is 2/3 higher than the districts in the state. So we're doing better than 2/3 of the districts in the state. Our ready graduate rate, ready graduate means that our graduates are ready to either take on a post-secondary career opportunity or a post-secondary college opportunity, let me put that and/or. That means that they've achieved either an ACT score of 21, or they have taken on some dual credit courses, dual enrollment, they have certificates so they can go directly into the workforce. And I need everyone to understand this, that in 2022, our ready graduate rate was 26.2 as opposed to 43.3 for statewide. Fast forward to 23-24. We have a ready graduate rate of 47.7% versus 53.1% for the rest of the state. So while we're increasing in double digits, the state is actually decreasing over time. Do the math. 2023-24, we had our A through C schools, the grading of our schools, we had 122 out of 199. Fast forward to 24-25, A through C schools, we have a 134 out of 200. We are increasing. We are doing the work. And in doing that work, we recognize when the forensic audit is complete, it will help us strengthen our systems and improve how the district operates. These actions show that progress is already underway. And that progress deserves full and fair consideration by policymakers and the public before any discussion of structural intervention takes place. The local accountability and transformation plan builds on the work that is already happening. It focuses on 4 priorities: strong governance and accountability, better academic outcomes for students, stable and transparent district operations, and a long-term plan for improving school facilities. Together, these priorities create a clear path forward for our district. The plan also proposes an intergovernmental transformation council. This group will bring together leaders from local government, educators, parents, students, and community partners. Its role is simple: to align priorities, review progress, and keep the public informed about how our schools are improving. Our community is asking for stronger oversight, greater transparency, and better results for our students. This plan responds to that call. But improving a school system does not happen in isolation. It requires partnership between educators, families, community leaders, local government, and businesses. And when Memphis and Shelby County work together for our children, there is no limit to what our schools can achieve. Again, our goal is simple: a school system where every student, no matter their zip code, has access to a high quality education, where resources support student success, and where the community has confidence in the direction of its public schools. Because the future of Memphis-Shelby County Schools should be shaped by progress, partnership, and the shared commitment of the community we serve. Thank you. I think next we have School Board Member Sable Ortega.
Thank you. Great afternoon. Before I begin, I want to once more acknowledge those that are here today, because what you see here today, this is what it looks like when a community stands together for our students. Leaders from City Council, the Mayor's Office, County Commission, School Board, and community partners are standing side by side. We believe the future of our schools are shaped right here in Memphis-Shelby County. Today sends a clear message. When it comes to our children, our community will lead, collaborate, and move forward together. Today, I'm proud to introduce a resolution that adopts our local accountability transformation plan. As the official accountability blueprint for our district, this plan represents something very important: our community taking responsibility for the future of our schools. Across Memphis and Shelby County, we all share the same goal: ensuring that every child, regardless of zip code, has access to high quality education and the opportunities that come with it. The Local Accountability and Transformation Plan is a comprehensive framework that focuses on 3 core priorities. That's academic growth and student achievement, operational excellence and transparency, strong partnerships with families, educators, and the community. Rather than waiting for outside solutions, this plan demonstrates that Memphis-Shelby County is prepared to lead with its own transformation. Local leadership matters, local accountability matters, and most importantly, our students matter. By adopting this plan, our district accountability blueprint, we are making a clear commitment to measurable progress, transparent reporting, real results for the students and families that we serve. This resolution sends a strong message. Our community believes in our schools. We believe in our educators. We believe in our students. This plan shows that Memphis is not waiting on outside solutions. Today, we are making it clear that Memphis is prepared to lead. Accountability and transformation plan is our blueprint to strengthen our schools, support our educators, and ensure every student has the opportunity to succeed. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to call Chair Swearingen Washington forward. Thank you.
Thank you. When our governing bodies move with unity and purpose, we send a powerful message that the success of our children is not a partisan issue, but a shared civic priority. As chairwoman of the Memphis City Council, I remain committed to working collaboratively with our partners. Our role in local government is not to stand apart from one another, but to stand alongside one another, aligning our effort of shared responsibility, and that the decisions that we make move our children closer to opportunity.
There is a national scholar by the name of Brian Stevenson, and what he said was the only way you can appropriately address a problem is by being in close proximity with it. The areas of opportunity we have in our education system cannot be addressed by outside outsiders who don't know our community, who don't understand our school system, who understand the way that kids struggle sometimes when they go home. The answer to some of the issues we have is solved by the people you see here. It's solved by the families in Whitehaven. It's solved by the families in Boxtown. It's solved by the people who know our community best. So my presence here today is simply to say that not only does the Memphis City Council stand in solidarity with the educators, the teachers, the community partners, we stand in solidarity with every child who's saying our local leaders should lead. We have the solution to our most pressing issues collectively in Shelby County. We do not need a state takeover. What we need is more accountability. What we need is more faith in the people who do this work every single day. So I give my full support to the school board and to the superintendent of this school system to continue to put people, continue to put children in the best position possible.
Thank you. Commissioner McCall.
Thank you. We all know that supporting our children should not be a partisan issue. We can't run to our political corners when it talks about the well-being of our children. And so that's why we stand here understanding the need of a local plan, local accountability, and yes, that means holding each of us accountable when it comes to how we're going about educating our children. Again, it's very personal for me. My children are educated in this system right now, so I want the best possible outcomes for them. And quite frankly, we welcome collaboration. We should want that from all of us. It's going to take all of us, including partners at the state as well, but not takeovers, not intervention. What we need is support going forward. We'll make sure that we have these transparent conversations. We ask for that from a county commission standpoint, and we welcome it going forward. We're going to have a budget conversation coming up here in the next couple of weeks. Tough conversations. But that's what's needed. Tough conversations to move our district forward, to making sure we're ensuring the best outcome for all of our children, and we want everyone to stand with us as we go about that process. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor
All right, so I want to thank the chairwoman and all the assembled dignitaries that are here for standing with the school system and their spirit of compromise and collaboration that they put forth with a intergovernmental council. And also pointing out some statistics which should give us all some comfort that they're doing the work and moving this district forward. I'm here in support of them, but I'm also here because I've got some grave concerns about what might happen if we don't adopt the plan that's put forward today with the spirit of collaboration that's been articulated. Without this effort, we're going to have the takeover legislation being advanced by Senator Taylor and others. Now, number one, if we don't do the collaborative plan you just heard about, and we're on the path that Brent Taylor has laid out, we have very little chance of advancing the ball with respect to our numbers in terms of reading and math proficiency. Remember right now, the idea on the table is authored by Brent Taylor. He's not only drafting the takeover legislation, he has said that he will play a role in selecting the members of the board that is set up to take over the Memphis schools. Thus, one of the people with the least contact with Memphis schools will decide governance and help select the decision makers. This smacks of hubris and is unlikely to help advance our goals regarding education in Memphis. In fact, when you think about Brent Taylor, he has no background in education or in teaching or school governance. Taylor is not qualified to create a new school authority or make any decisions about education and the direction of Memphis schools. Everyone who's ever eaten at a restaurant thinks they can open and run one. Now, we know that is not the case. Sadly, for all of us here, the stakes are even larger. Additionally, because of Taylor's lack of qualifications to create a school board authority or make any decisions related to Memphis schools, a Taylor-influenced board would likely be viewed by the public and important partner organizations and teachers and staff in Memphis as illegitimate. This means that if we don't come up with an alternative fast, important work would be stalled, potentially creating devastating consequences for Memphis schools, our state, or both. How would partner organizations like Shelby County government work in good conscience with a board like this, a board created without engaging the folks who work in our school system, and a board that is being set up apparently to seize the authority from those who were legitimately selected by our residents? Right now, for instance, Shelby County government has been working collaboratively with the superintendent and the school system on new school construction, spending millions of dollars on school building maintenance and new construction projects. The best example of that, of course, is Frazier High School, which once it's finished will be a new construction project that comes in to the tune of over $140 million. But does anyone believe that Shelby County government would work with a Taylor-influenced board in the same way, handing over millions of dollars to random people who Brent Taylor decided should be in charge? What's going to happen to funding for maintenance and construction projects if this happens? What's going to happen in the construction and maintenance projects for the other school systems like Arlington and Bartlett and Collierville and Millington and Lakeland and Germantown, which depend on this relationship between Shelby County government and MSCS's current school board? Perhaps the state will step in and help fund school maintenance and construction. That is, if the Taylor-influenced board is approved by state officials, the question becomes, will the state step in and fund vital construction and maintenance projects for the Memphis-Shelby County school systems? And because the construction dollars for the Memphis-Shelby County school systems are also directly related to the dollars for Arlington, Bartlett, Collierville, Millington, Lakeland, and Germantown, the question is the state going to fund those projects as well? These are just a few of the issues that signal to me that disaster awaits if the Taylor-influenced board is installed with the power to run Memphis' schools. I think the approach today that you heard from the chairwoman is much better designed and thoughtful for this moment. It feels more poised for success as folks with actual experience with our school system have played a role in its crafting. It brings all the parties together without blowing up our entire school system and putting school maintenance and new school construction dollars at risk for Memphis, and putting those dollars at risk for the suburban communities of Arlington, Bartlett, Collierville, Millington, Lakeland, and Germantown. Most importantly, it doesn't take away our residents' authority to play a role in our schools and largely hand that power to run our school system to an individual who might not be qualified to run a restaurant.
Thank you. Next, I would like to invite Liz Marable and Charlotte Field.
Good morning. My name is Liz Marable, President of the United Education Association, and I'm honored to speak to you today on behalf of educators in the Memphis-Shelby County Schools. Let me be very clear. The people of Memphis and Shelby County, not the state, should be making the decisions that shape our local schools. The Local Accountability and Transformation Plan gives our community the opportunity to take responsibility for improving our schools while keeping local government intact. Educators know that lasting progress happens when students, parents, teachers, and community leaders work together, not when decisions are imposed from outside of our very own communities, the communities that we pay tax dollars in. This plan focuses on what matters most: clear accountability, transparency in how resources are used, strong academic supports for students, and honest engagement with families and the public. When everyone has a voice at the table and data is shared openly, we can continue to solve problems instead of shifting blame. Educators are ready. We're always ready in this district to do our part. Every day in our classrooms, we are focused on improving instruction, supporting students, and closing opportunity gaps for the children in this school district. But real, lasting change requires all of us, everyone up here working together, educators, district leadership, the Memphis City Council, the Shelby County Commission, and our city and county mayors, and the many experts and partners across Shelby County who can provide the knowledge and resources our schools need. Memphis educators want our schools to succeed because our students deserve nothing less. Supporting this plan means protecting local voice, strengthening transparency, and committing to the hard work of improving together. These are our schools. This is our community, and together we will continue to build the future for our students. I invite you to come into our schools and see the amazing work that I've seen this year in 112 school visits. Report on the amazing things that our children are doing every single day and the incredible work and the dedication of all the educators of Memphis and Shelby County schools. Last but not least, do not tolerate from anybody at any level the name calling, the abusive words that we would not even allow in our own classrooms. We should not allow that from Mr. Taylor either. Thank you.
I'd like to invite Rachel Spriggs and Tequila Rucker.
Good morning. My name is Tequila Rucker, and I'm with Memphis for All. We're here today to stand in opposition of the state takeover of the Memphis-Shelby County Schools. Over the past year, Memphis for All, STAND, and the Equity Alliance have been working in collaboration with the district, the board, to host community listening sessions across the city to hear what the parents in the community want for their schools and for the students. And what is clear is that they want accountability, they want transparency, and they want progress for the students, and they want that in a way where they can be a part of the decision-making process. As a former educator within the Shelby County school system, as well as an advocate for educational equity, I understand that there are real challenges that we face here within our district around just the different things that's happening, but we are in a better position now to make the progress that our students in our district need. And so we stand in solidarity of the local accountability and transformational plan, because we know that this plan will be significant in shifting us into the right trajectory. And this approach moves us closer toward co-governance where the district, elected leaders, educators, and community partners work together to strengthen accountability and improve outcomes for the students. And this is what you see here today. The district stands alongside city, county, community leaders, educators to agree on we're standing together. This is what co-governance look like. It looks like us coming together, working together to figure it out, even though we don't always agree or get along. But today, one thing is clear: when it comes to our students, they're worth us coming together, putting our differences aside, and standing in solidarity, and that's what we're here to do today.
Hello, my name is Rachel Spriggs, and I am the Director of Power Building for the Equity Alliance, where we are supporting community members across the city, and we've had the opportunity, like Tequila was saying, to speak to numerous families, to speak to students, to speak to stakeholders. And one thing that is for certain, the question has never been whether change is needed. The question is whether that change will happen with the community or to the community. But today we acknowledge something important. Our local leaders are not sitting back and allowing decisions to be made for us. They are stepping forward and putting solutions on the table today. For months now, we have been asked the same question over and over again. If you oppose a state takeover for our schools, then what is the alternative? Well, today, we are here to answer that question precisely. First, let's be honest about the facts. And you've heard a lot of the statistics, you've heard a lot of the data. We know that across the country, There is very little evidence that state takeovers of local school systems actually improve student outcomes. What we have seen instead are years of disruption, loss of community voice, and decisions made far away from families and students who are most impacted. So today we stand here together to say we oppose a state takeover of Shelby County Schools. But we are not here simply to say that. We are against what we are against. We are here to talk about what we are for. The local accountability and transformation plan being discussed today provides a framework to begin addressing exactly what our community has been asking for. It is not the final answer. We are not saying what we're presenting today is perfect, but it is a starting point rooted in voices of the people who live here. Seeing the district standing here today alongside city and county leaders represents something very important, a level of alignment and collaboration that we have not always seen in the past. But let me be clear, announcements alone will not transform schools, y'all. Press conferences alone will not transform schools. If we are serious about doing right by our children, then we must commit to continued engagement, which this is the start of, and this is what we're doing and saying we're going to continue to do. Coordination and transparency is what we're committing to moving forward. And that accountability does not only belong to elected officials, it belongs to all of us. Yes. And if state leaders are truly serious about supporting Memphis and Shelby County, then the path forward should be clear. Come to the table. Work with this community. Help us build solutions that maintain local control and center the voices of the people closest to these issues. Because the future of our children and the future of this city deserves nothing less.
Board Chair, if there are no other speakers.
Well, we have one other.
We're going to bring,
One
we have one more speaker. We're going to have Congressman Cohen give a statement.
Board Chair, following this one, we'll open up for Q&A with the media. I think some of our guests want to sit. I hear knees popping. So we want to get a minute out quick as possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm proud to be here with these other leaders in our county and our city. This is an important issue, but one thing that overrides the issue entirely is the fact that Brent Taylor wants to take Shelby County, and he said this, and I found it a bit alarming because I didn't see how it could ever happen. He said, we're have a sweep, and we're going to make Shelby County part of the Republican sweep of the state. And I thought there's no way they're going to make District 9 Republican. But with the Supreme Court decision coming up this spring on the Voting Rights Act in Section 2, which if they say it's unconstitutional because it discriminates against white people, let's listen. That's something John Lewis got done, Martin Luther King, and Lyndon Johnson in the 60s. It was to let black people vote, give everybody an opportunity to elect the leader of their choice. And when there's an opportunity to create a black district, a minority district, it must be done so the minority population gets to choose the person of their choosing. To change that and turn it around to say it discriminates against white people is hooey. But that's what they're doing. They're gonna, if that happens, I imagine the Tennessee General Assembly will destroy District 9, just like they did in Nashville with Jim Cooper's district that had always been a district representing Nashville, and have Nashville split up into 3 districts as it is, as a tail to 3 Republican rural districts, and suburban districts. They will do the same thing in Shelby County, and this is part of the same, part of that same plan to take over the schools here. Government closest to the people is always the best government. And with schools where your kids are involved and you go to schools and you want to talk to the teachers and the principals and the school board members, you can do it. If the state takes over, you're going to have to drive out to East Memphis or Germantown to talk to your school board members because that's where they're all going to come from. Or if they're not from there, they will answer to those people. This is a disturbing political movement in our state to take over Memphis. And that's what it's about. It's about taking over Memphis. They're not thinking about it anywhere else. But you'll see it here. So anyway, I stand strongly for local leadership and to keep the state of Tennessee, the city of Nashville, and the government, which I served in for many years, out of the Shelby County school system. keep local people in power. Thank you very much.
Before we begin, I just want to reiterate my gratefulness and thankfulness for this array of leadership and community. We cannot do this alone. We have to do this in connection, in collaboration, and we have to do it together. So I want to say thank you to everyone who came. Thank you to my fellow board members. Thank you to community leaders. Thank you to our elected officials. And again, thank you for supporting this work that we have to do here, and we have to do it together. And I want to say one last thing, that actions speak louder than words, and we're about to get to action. Thank you.
Continue with us and watch free now on the 24 Plus app everywhere you stream.